Hey, Austin, what's going on, man? We'll get started here in a few minutes, guys. Sorry, I'm pretty late today. I'm dealing with some issues on the website. Not the new website, but my old website. Somehow my pages went live again, and people are trying to buy my old products. Um, so that's causing a little bit of an issue. Um, it's a good issue to have, I guess. People are still trying to buy stuff, but the website, it shouldn't be live. I'm pretty sure we deleted all the pages and stuff. I don't know how this happened, but we're gonna go through it and make sure it's redirecting to the right places and get all that stuff fixed. It's gonna be probably a short stream today. I gotta finish up what I was working on before stream. Make sure this doesn't continue to happen. Alright, let me check one last thing and then we'll get started. Alright, let me pull up my screen here. Hey, Sneaky, what's going on? Appreciate you guys being here. So we're currently not in a Bitcoin trade. I'm actually flat right now. I got stopped out of my short on this last little pump before the breakdown. So that kind of sucked, but it was a small trade anyway, so nothing too crazy. Right before this pumped, I anticipated that it was going to pump, and I lowered my stop loss. So I took a very small loss. Hey, turn up with the 8 months. Appreciate the Prime sub, man. Welcome back, welcome back. Really appreciate that. But yeah, so we were in a small trade here. Let me pull up the result. So right before, so basically I tried to short this breakdown on this move here. So I was anticipating this to be this. I was anticipating this leg down to break this level and then continue downward like we saw here. But then we saw that reversal and it pushed upward. So I anticipated this dip. So I put my stop loss right above the trail. So we almost got stopped out here. And then it failed downward. And then you consolidated and pumped up. And then it stopped us out for 1%. This actually looked decently bullish here. But then you started to lose momentum. So once you started to lose momentum there, you can see here, it rolled over. And I could have actually shorted this here, but I wasn't at my computer. I was doing a lot of stuff. I was running a lot of errands and stuff off the PC. So I actually did not see this trade live. But if I was at my computer, I probably would have taken half a short at least. Because I really like taking trades when the Momo flips. It's one of my main strategies right now. And we saw a flip of the Momo here. And once I saw the OTS turn black and you had the flip of the Momo, I probably would have at least taken half-size trade. I don't know if I would have taken a full trade here just because I got faked out on the same exact trade right here. So I probably would have done half-size. But it's all hindsight, obviously, so I can't really say what I would have done. But yeah, I wasn't at the PC for this trade, so no trades currently. Hey, Keith, what's going on, man? I keep forgetting I have a button now that I created for this reason. There you go. But yeah, if you look in the top left, the only current trade I'm in right now is the Zuo trade. So we're still holding my Zuo. I should have definitely let it go on this pump. But didn't really pay too much attention to it. That was for Turnip. Turnip subbed. It was a little delayed. I forgot about my button. But yeah, so I'm still holding Zuo. Not really trading any stocks or anything right now. Pretty nice reversal here at the end of the day on the SPY. Overall market bouncing off that pivot. You're pretty much bottomed out here on the Momo. So very bearish momentum, but you could start to see a reversal. You typically do see the reversals around these 20 periods, as you saw here. It's very rare that you go much lower than 20 or much higher than 20. And you can see here, you can start to see those divergences start to play out when you get closer to that 20 range. Starbucks, perfect short. If any of you guys took that trade that we were talking about last week, I actually didn't take this trade. I haven't been paying too much attention to stocks. I probably definitely could have taken this trade and made some good money. But if you guys watched my stream last week, we talked about shorting Starbucks during this accumulation, and look at where we're bouncing right inside those two trend lines. So very beautiful short. That's like an 8% short. Yeah. So if you took puts on that play, that's beautiful. But like I said, I haven't been trading stocks too much. So Tyson, same thing. We called out this short on Tyson. If anybody took that short, it's already going down 4%. So another really good play. Pepsi, we called out the long on Pepsi. If anybody took that, look at that. Massive move up. Gapped up 3%. Pushed up another 4%. All the way up to 4%, I mean. So, beautiful trade on Pepsi as well. So, 3 for 3 so far. Microsoft, I don't believe I called out a trade on Microsoft. Oh, we were waiting for a breakout to the upside. So, that did not happen. So, Microsoft looking pretty bearish. Oracle, I'm still waiting on a long on Oracle. Looks pretty good. You have a lot of accumulation coming in. If you break like 54 with some strong momentum, you could probably look for a long here on Oracle. Veritone still breaking downward. Disney failing to confirm this bull div. You're breaking downward. Glue still cup and handle almost, but it's not a proper cup and handle because you're on a downtrend. More of a range play. So still looks slightly bullish. Snapchat, we called out the short on Snapchat too. Beautiful play. I should have played these, but I've really been focusing on crypto lately. I didn't want to divide my time into stocks and crypto. But if any of you guys played these calls, that we were spot on pretty much for all of these. Short on Snapchat played out. We called out the short on Starbucks, short on Tyson. We called out the long on Pepsi, so that's basically 4 for 4 on those calls. PayPal still breaking downward. Cisco breaking downward, trying to find support on this pivot. Chesapeake trying to find support on that low there. Coke breaking downward. We called out this play as well, so another one here. Massive bear div on Coke. We called out all these in Discord like last week, maybe even longer, like 2 weeks. So keep an eye on these plays. Coke, another short. Uber still breaking downward. Carnival, complete reversal to the downside. Caesar still distributing. Sorry, I got an itch in my throat. Beyond looks like you're starting to slightly turn bearish here. You do have a slight bull div coming in, though, if we do continue downward. Activision bouncing up, failing that pivot. Bounced right off the 50, right into that pivot. Twitter starting to recover. Momo giving you a green bar on the daily. Still very bearish. Nvidia starting to recover as well, looking really good there. Nice engulfing candle. AMD, just as we thought, broke down from that range. If we pull back and find resistance at 29, this could look like a really good short. So keep an eye on AMD. We'll pull this up to our short side here. That's basically it for stocks. Hey, Ride, you said, isn't Bitcoin Daily looking like a perfect bear flag or a perfect BART pattern? Always tricky. Yeah, it definitely is. But yeah, it is looking like a bear flag. If we look at the volume, let's go to our volume. Yeah, it looks like a pretty good bear flag. You do have that really high volume on the move down, and then the low volume on the consolidation. Problem with Bitcoin is, like you said, you could definitely go retrace and BART upward. So bear flags and bull flags are a little tricky to play on Bitcoin. As long as you maintain above this daily pivot on the trading suite, I would say you're slightly bullish. This is accumulation. You do see some nice buy volume coming in towards the low, so I would definitely consider this accumulation. And you could look for a continuation to the upside. It's basically playing out to exactly what we thought it would. If we pull up this chart back when I did my analysis before the breakdown, we were looking for this 25% correction. CME gap filled, 25% correction around 76, and that's basically exactly what we got. it started bouncing a little higher. God damn. My throat's a little itchy, man. It started bouncing a little higher around like 78. But we did see that correction that we were looking for. The Momo has lost your uptrend here. You are entering that downtrend. Your short-term momentum is bearish. But we do want to see a reversal on this short-term momentum. Or we're going to see a pretty healthy move down pretty soon. I don't know why my throat is so itchy. How's the VWAP look here? Okay, so we're bouncing perfectly off that 3-day VWAP close from your previous 3-day period. We saw a complete red day, or red VWAP, throughout this 3-day period. We are finding support right here on that 3-day close. So if you are bullish, your target would be that middle VWAP around 83, which would give you about a 2% move, I believe. Yeah, close to a 2% move. These are free indicators to the Discord, so if you guys are in Discord, I posted these a while back, maybe a week or two ago. So if you guys don't have access to these, just DM me or yeah, just DM me and I'll get you access. If you're a Discord member. What I was looking at before stream started was this 2-hour and 3-hour bull div. We do have a bull div incoming on the 2-hour and the 3-hour. It's not confirmed. You are still creating the div. It is confirmed on the 3 hours. So you can see here, you put in a lower low on price, higher low on the Momo. So once this price starts to push higher, if the Momo starts to follow it, this would look like a clean bull div. You could target around 83 to 83.80. You do have a pivot coming in here. You are bouncing off that pivot immediately, which is a really good sign of bullish strength. You do have about a 1.5% stop loss if you trade this pivot. So not too bad. You would be trading against the trend though. So you would be going for a reversal trade. You are bearish on the Momo. You are bearish on the OTS. You're below the trail, below the 8. So this would definitely be a against the trend trade. You're still bearish on the 1 hour as well. You prefer Coke? I like a good mix of both. I like Coke like at restaurants. Pepsi's good in cans. I actually just bought some Coke for the first time in a while in cans instead of Pepsi. I went and got some steak and got some rice and didn't feel like looking around for the Pepsi. Saw the Coke and just bought it. How do you guys like your steak? If you say anything over medium, just leave. Glass bottle Cokes? Yeah, the glass bottle ones are good too. Yeah, I used to get my steaks medium well. And then I realized, like, that is destructive of the steak. You basically just ruin the steak. So I started getting it medium. I prefer steak left on the cow. You're not wrong. The vegans. Insult to the chef. Yeah, it is. I can't remember where we went, but there one place it might be Outback or somewhere. But it says like it describes all the steaks, so like medium, medium rare, medium well done. And it says well done. Instead of describing it, it just says order chicken. So it's like, oh, medium, warm red center. Well done, order chicken. Yeah, dude, Outback, I love their bread. I honestly can eat their bread without butter. I think their bread is really good. But yeah, so for Bitcoin, I'm looking for that 3-hour bull div to play out. The trigger for my trade is probably going to be the Momo. I'm going to watch for the Momo to flip on the hourly. Maybe see some momentum come in on the 3-hour, 2-hour. And that would be my signal to to start playing the long. We did have a perfect buy zone test there, so you pulled back to the buy zone. Right in between that 50 and 618. You are bouncing off your 50% retracement and starting to push higher here, so does look a little bearish or bullish here. Daily is still worrisome. You do have an engulfing candle coming in on the daily, so a little scary there. $15-minute, beautiful pivot. You had a pivot come in, popped up. This is creation of your accumulation, so accumulation low on your pivot, accumulation high on the failure, retest of the accumulation low. So you could have longed that pivot. You would have almost caught the bottom to the dollar, and you'd be sitting in a beautiful long. I just sat down at my computer, or I've been at my computer for a while, but I just started looking at charts, basically right when stream started. I've been messing with some issues on the website. I need to figure out how my old website went live. Really weird, because I'm pretty sure we deleted like all those pages. So I think it's still running on like a different WordPress server or something. But I'll figure it out. Market wants those cheap shares when Uber employee lockup, the lockup ends. Suppress the price till then, I think. Yeah, for Uber, they've been getting wrecked lately. You're in an all-time low on that yesterday's candle. This is a perfect example of what I was talking about. So when you were approaching this low here, you were actually creating a bull div. But if you fail that bull div, it's going to get wrecked, and it's going to be a significant failure. And that's exactly what happened. You failed pretty hard there, almost, what is that, like 5% or so? Yeah, more than that, almost 10%. Let's take a look at Ethereum here. Ethereum, you broke through this sell pressure, formed a pivot which acted as your perfect high, and then you failed all the way down here. You're actually forming a pivot just as you are in Bitcoin, showing a little bit of buy pressure coming in. 15 minutes, same exact deal. Bull div, perfect test, or sorry, not bull div, pivot, perfect test of the pivot, and now we're pushing higher. So this was your entry. So entering here would be a little late, but we do have some bullish momentum coming in. We do want to see a break of that trail and a flip of that 50. You can see how clean this shifted on the 15-minute on Ethereum. You saw that white to black, pivot failure, trail flipped red, you broke the 50, you broke that pivot, the Momo went completely bearish. So, your trade was somewhere here. White to black, Momo flipped, new low on the Momo. So, somewhere in here is where you could have taken your short. I was not trading very heavily last night or this morning. So, as I said, this is basically the first analysis that I've been doing since we ended stream yesterday. I was really happy with my first day of the month. We were up over 10%. I've pulled back a little bit since then. We're only up about 8% now. I've taken a few losses. But I'm trying to take it slow this month because we're already up a quarter of what we did last month, and it's only the third day. So I'm trying to take it a little slow. Not trying to be too aggressive. Trying to find the right trades. Yeah, so basically, the trade on all the time frames was somewhere around here. You had that white to black, failed the pivot, Momo bearish. That is my entry condition. Basically, the majority of my strategy on this account is that the trend shift. We talked about it yesterday. The strategy that I'm running is a momentum shifting strategy. I'm looking for complete shifts in momentum using the OTS and the Momo. So when we see that white to black, flip on the Momo, that is your entry. So Your entry was here. But I did not trade that entry, so trading here would be a decent trade, but it wouldn't be a trade that fits my strategy right now. We might be waiting for a little bit longer to get that clean trade, but so what worries me a little bit about the 4 hour here is this was actually an entry on the 4 hour as well. So you had your white to black shift and you had your shift in the Momo as well. So this would actually be your short entry on my strategy on the 4 hour. The reason I'm not taking it so heavily just yet is it's a little sketchy because the smaller time frames are showing pretty good buy pressure. They're showing pretty good accumulation. So taking this 4 hour trade, it just doesn't seem like it's the highest probability trade that I could be taking right now. So that's what you were talking about on Twitter with confirming the bull div? Yeah, exactly. So if it doesn't confirm the bull div, it usually gets destroyed pretty quickly. So like Twitter, yeah, so same thing on Twitter. We didn't confirm that bull div, and we made a new low here. Twitter is actually entering a downtrend, so you want to wait for that pullback into this resistance, and then if we start to fail downward, that is your short entry on Twitter. You are seeing some buy pressure come in, but you have that complete shift that I look for my trades. White to black, Momo shifting. But sadly, this shift was a little late, so I probably would wait for a pullback to confirm. Because you would want it to shift a little early, somewhere around here, but this one shifted a little late, so you'd probably wait for a pullback to confirm. Yeah, also the same thing. That's what I'm talking about, though. Same thing. Like when I was talking about on Bitcoin, I was talking about the bull div waiting for it to confirm. That's the same thing I was talking about. You're just looking for that. What time frame was it? The 4 hour. Yeah. So this one already played out. So I was talking about this div on Twitter. You had this div here. And then he played out already. He pushed higher. And then you asked me about the weekly. Which one were you talking about? You were talking about... You were talking about this, weren't you? Was it something like that? Yeah, so you would need a green candle. Because you're not making that peak or that trough or valley, whatever you want to call it. You're not making that fractal basically. So you need that green candle like you saw here. You saw that green candle come in. You're taking that peak from there. Okay, so now you have the green candle. So now you want the oscillator, the RSI, whatever you're using, to flip as well. This is a very scary div to play, though, because these types of divs don't do well. because this is a long-term trend shift. And typically when trends are very strong, as I've said before, when trends are really strong, divs are not strong enough to alter that trend. And I don't have that div on a Momo. So I look for divs on the Momo. I don't have that div. So that's not a div that I'd be playing. I might have it on like a 3-day. No, I don't have it on a 3-day either. So I only look for short-term divs. I don't look for like the long-term divs. I typically look for peak to peak, like the closest bottoms that you can play, or closest tops. I don't look for like the really long ones. That is a pretty close one here on the weekly, but we don't have a div here. So this could bounce for sure, but I would be playing the bounce based on other technicals. I wouldn't be playing the bounce based on the div. So what I really like about the 3-day is the pivot here. You have that beautiful pivot. You're also getting very low on the Momo here. So the Momo, unless we see a new leg down very soon, this is indicating that it wants to bottom out. Because typically when the Momo is really low like this, you see the consolidation and then you see the nuke. So if we don't see that breakdown very soon, it's going to indicate a reversal. That's when the divs start to come in. You can see on the 3-day, basically this entire way up was a div. Which is why we're pulling back so heavy. You guys know the way that I trade divs is basically where you see that peak to peak, you take the levels from that peak. So if we're going off like just this div here, which is the closest div, so you go off the most recent bear div, your targets are that first high and that first low. We've already hit both our targets. So if you guys trade my bull div, bear div strategy, your targets are both hit. That final target would have been 78. So technically that div has already played out, which is good for the bulls. If we zoom out though, we have not played out all of these divs, but they don't have to play out because, as I said, a strong trend is going to ignore the divs. So this div got ignored because this trend was too strong. And same thing here. This div got ignored because the trend was too strong. But then this div did not get ignored because the trend was weak. The trend was weakening. So you had a really strong trend, you ignored your divs, and then your trend shifted weak, and then you played your div out. We have almost a bulldog here on the 15. We have almost a bulldog here. So we can watch the bulldog, see if it plays out. I just blew your fucking mind with the targets. Yeah, the targets are simple for divs. I don't know why people don't do the targets the way that I do them. I find div targets extremely easy. I actually have here, I can show you. I have an idea on TradingView. It got banned because I posted my Discord link. But here, let me show you. I have an idea where I go over a bunch of divs on Bitcoin and they all played out. But it sadly got banned because I posted my Discord link. This was an old div. This was back in here we go. You can see how old the Momo is. Look at how old the Momo is. This is what the Momo used to look like. The Momo was pretty damn ugly. So you can see the green are the targets. Red is a bear div, pink is a bull div. So you have bear div, that low of that high is your final target. You can see we hit our target. Bull div, you can see that high of the low is your final target. You hit your target. Bear div, low of the high, hit your target. Bull div, you hit your target. This target was pretty small. So you could have taken this target. Same thing here, bull div. You take your target, and then boom, you hit your target. But yeah, this is all in the time frame of like 7 days, and you have every single top and bottom being called by the Momo. In the span of 7 days, it called every single div. Yeah, see, this idea was hidden. I violated their rules. I got a lot of ideas hidden. They hid like all 5 of these ideas. 4 of these. Yeah, targets as like where the div is technically played out. That's where I would look to like trade the div, but then I wouldn't. So after the target's hit, if it continues upward or continues downward, it's not continuing upward or downward based on that div, it's continuing based on something else. So maybe the trend shifted, maybe something else happened. Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, I'm not trading very much right now either, man. I think no trade right now is the best trade. I was trading very actively in the first few days, the first 2 days of October, but now I'm taking a little bit of a break, looking for some clean trades. We're sitting at a 8% gain on the month already, so 3 days in, that's not too bad. We're a little over 2% a month, or 2% a day. Not saying we're going to continue that, but that's where we're currently sitting at. Still nothing really clear happening here. You can even see... we have a nice 50% retracement here. I'm going to delete this. If it lets me. Here we go. You can see the liquidity's even drying up. There's no real big trades coming in. You've got some small walls down here. About 6 million. But there's really not a whole lot. You got about 6 million up here as well. You just had a little wall come in above price. If we zoom out here, you can see we're resting right in that gap of the volume profile. You do have some support right here on the high volume node, which is acting as the low. Once we get below like 79, it's gonna nuke pretty hard. You don't have a whole lot of volume below 79. You can see that's where the liquidity dries up as well. You have these walls down here at 79, but once 79 is broken, you don't really have anything left. Pretty strong sell pressure coming in. You do... If I was playing this short, your target would be the 4% down to the pivot here. It's a pretty strong shift in the Momo here. That's about a 4% failure from the high. It's a pretty good trend here. You can see the trend shifted black here. It's a 3% trend shift, so really strong. The 3-day 50 moving average looks good. Yeah, the orange one on my chart is the 50. Oh, you're looking at the MA. I'm looking at the EMA. The EMA is at 9,000. We're actually currently resting on the 72, which I really like to use. I haven't been using it recently. It's on my other chart. It's on this chart here. Yeah, the 50 MA is even higher than the EMA, up at 97. Wonder where the daily 72 is. Pretty far. I created a weighted moving average using 3 different moving averages. And I've been messing with it a little bit. A little sloppy, but just an experiment. Looked really good on the daily. Yeah, it was really clean on the daily. Caught like all these bottoms. Caught the high there. It was really weird in 2018. What's going on?
It's going.
Currently sitting at 89.40. This is currently using a 12, a 50, and a 200. Basically weighting them all together.
Are you still in any positions?
No, I'm not holding not holding anything. The short looks pretty good here though, but it's just too conflicting.
Yeah. I haven't been able to see a good position for like the last 15 hours.
Yep. The best position was last night on the 15 minute. We had a really clean trend shift up at like 83.40. But getting in here, you'd be like shorting the bottom almost.
Yeah.
I don't like shorting when I look at a 15-minute and the trend has been going on for this long. Like if I look at my indicators and the OTS shifted black here, the Momo shifted here, like that is where the trend shift. That's where the trade is. But like shorting this, you're almost shorting the bottom. I don't know. On a longer time frame, it could be a good trade, but it always looks bad shorting that far into a trend shift. The 4 hour looks like a good short, down to like 78.
Yeah, same with the 3 hour. Nice pivot.
Yeah, 3 hours forming a bull div, which is another reason why it's kind of scary to short here. The 50 moving average is at 67. Mine wasn't. On the 3-day? Yeah, mine's at 90. Mine's at 97. I'm not sure which moving average you're using. This is an MA. This is an MA. This is a MA 50 on the 3-day. This is at 97. You sure you're not on the weekly or something? You're on the you're on the weekly, dude. That's not the 3-day. That's the weekly. The weekly's at 67.
What do you think about Algo USDT?
Isn't Algo a shit Binance coin that they like? Or isn't Binance like taking all their coins off, like all the coins they made?
No, Algo's the one legit shitcoin on Binance in terms of teams and fundamentals.
Yeah, you got a daily pivot. You're almost shifting on the Momo. You're not there yet. 4 hour beautiful pivot called the bottom to the candle. Getting ready to shift. Yeah, so the same thing with, this is like the opposite of Bitcoin where you shifted way back here. So that was your trade. Now you're kind of bull flagging. So you could wait for the same exact thing. Just wait for the black to white shift on the Momo. Because right now it's bearish. Bearish on both. You'd be short until otherwise. You have like a weird bulldog forming on Bitcoin and Ethereum. But it's not clean, so I wouldn't really trade it.
Yeah, I like Bitcoin and ETH on like 1 hour below for the long, but other than that, it looks big.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 4 hour gave you a short signal on this doji at 176. Bitcoin, same thing, 8,300. Bitcoin's actually looking bad here. Looks like it wants a nuke.
I wouldn't be surprised. Fucking SPY got wrecked today.
It's already down 0.5% from that pullback. Yeah, I would short this if this wasn't like so far away from where the actual trade was. Because it's basically like you're FOMOing. Because the proper trade was here. You missed the proper trade. You could get in like half size. But this was the trade. That is literally like 10 out of 10 what I look for on my strategy. Just got an alert on, what was that, Costco? Yeah, quarterly earnings beat expectations by 6%. Not too bad. Oil, or natural gas, is doing really good today. Holy shit. Natural gas is up 10%. Yeah, massive engulfing candle on natural gas here. Coming into a lot of resistance, but if it can flip bullish here, you got a long way to run. Probably to like 20s. I used to trade the natural gas ETFs UGAS and DGAS. UGAS is the long, DGAS is the short. You bought, so it's gonna go down. Would you buy Bitcoin? You went long on Bitcoin here? Yeah, I could see strong arguments for both sides here, and that's why I'm not trading. I like the short on the 4 hour. I like the longs on the lower time frames. You did have a nice bounce off the trail here on the 15-minute. Could look a lot like this here. We pull back to the pivot. This pivot is your range low, so if this pivot's broken, I'd say the 4 hour is going to play out, and the 4 hour is going to start pushing down towards 8,000, maybe even this pivot down here at 78. This looks a lot like this here, where you have that pivot, you have that pump up, you failed, and then you kind of bleed down back to that pivot. You see that pivot, pump, failure, trend shift, and now we're bleeding. On the headlines for Bitcoin, it says how to buy Ethereum. Oh yeah, the best way to buy Ethereum. That's funny. These headlines are such dog shit on TradingView. Almost every single one of these articles I've clicked on is just so half-assed. I never look at these. I didn't realize you can go to stock twits. It doesn't change anything. Okay. Yeah, if I wasn't already doing well for the month, I probably would have taken this short. Taken like a half-size short here. But not really. It'd be an aggressive trade because you'd be going off of little evidence, really. A good short would be like a failure here, so we pop up, and then you kind of consolidate, and then maybe fail, and you get that trend shift like we see here. So that would be the good short. You could trade the break of the pivot, but it's gonna be, if it breaks this pivot, it's probably gonna be pretty strong. So it's gonna be hard to get into. And if you put your order too close, you'll probably get wicked. Because you know how Bitcoin is. Bitcoin could easily stop run this wick and then continue higher. So your best bet is waiting for a failure of a level and then a trend shift. Just to be patient, really. It says the MGM Resorts agrees to pay up to $800 million to victims of the 2017 Las Vegas shooting. I wonder how that's going to affect their stock. Hey, Austin. Have a good one, man. Just a slow stream today. Just chilling. Got to be patient. Look for some good trades. It's hard to say when stuff like what MGM just did is good for the stock or bad for the stock, because it's good for their image. Obviously, they're paying out all that money to the families, but it's not good for an investor when you're paying out 800 million. So it's same thing with like Boeing. Boeing agreed to pay 145,000 to every family of someone who died in one of their plane crashes. And I tweeted about that being bad for their company, because valuing somebody's life at $145,000, I don't know if that looks really good. Obviously, it's better for their investors paying less money, but I think it looks bad for the company. It's really, can you imagine the board meetings where they have to come up with a number to value a human life? Because they had to have a meeting, obviously, to talk about how much money are they going to give away to these families. And it came down to being 145,000 per family that lost people. And I'm not sure if that's per person or just per family. So maybe if like 2 or 3 people died in the same plane crash, do they only get 145,000? Their programmers equal $9 an hour. Your life is 145K. I was at the Mandalay Bay for a Cirque show hours before the shooting. Super surreal. Back at the hotel, hearing about the catastrophe live down the street. Yeah, that's nuts, dude. That's insane. Were you anywhere so you couldn't hear it going down? You weren't close enough to like hear it going down? Vegas is probably really loud. You probably couldn't even hear it if you were pretty close. Especially when there's like a concert and stuff going on. It's all about the comps. No difference than real estate or other transactions. Person equals a unit. Oh, 100%. When the board is doing it, we talked about this in one of my classes. We talked about it in I think it was one of my legal classes. We were talking about how companies had to put numbers on people's lives when tragedies and stuff happened. You were at the other end of the strip at the Wynn. Yeah, it's still pretty nuts. I think it's the biggest mass shooting in I don't know if it's in history or just in the last few decades. Because when you say history, they look at like shootings that happened back like close to the Civil War times and shit. They count those, because I've seen some of their list and they count some shit that was happening way back when. But if we're talking about modern history, I think it is the largest shooting. If you're into conspiracy theories, I'm not going to get into it on stream, but there is a massive conspiracy theory around that shooting. It's probably one of the biggest conspiracy theories we've seen since like 9/11. How do the altcoins look right now? Looks like Ethereum's pulling back. Litecoin looks like it actually wants to pop here. Litecoin, you gained momentum on your last low. You're breaking into the upper range here. Litecoin doesn't look too bad. You could retest this range low back at 71. ADA, nothing really going on here. Accumulating. Small little uptrend here on EOS. No real signals on that either. Yeah, these other coins don't look really good. If I had to trade an altcoin, Litecoin's the only one that looks good. Really strong range, gaining momentum. You're above your pivot here, above your 50, above your trail. You're white on the OTS. You're positive on the Momo. Looks pretty good. You could take a long on Litecoin here. 4% target. Yeah, your stop loss isn't really good though. It'd be like a 1-to-1 trade. Probably small size. Wasn't he rich? I don't know too much about it. I didn't dive too deep into it. I try not to waste a lot of my time on conspiracy theories nowadays. I did all that back in high school. The biggest of them all is Kim Jong-un as Satoshi. Yeah, right, dude. That'd be so funny, dude. If North Korea came out as like the godfather of crypto. This weekly candle is pretty bullish. What's today? Thursday? So we have 1, 2, 3 with 3 days left on the weekly candle. If it closes like this is pretty bullish. But it's pretty I'd say it leans bullish because it's resting on the 50, but if you look at just the candle, no indicators, it's not bullish or bearish. You have a micro pullback. It's the same thing that I look at like here on the upside when you have a really strong engulfing candle and then you see a doji. You don't trade that doji until it's broken to the upside or the downside. So you would have traded this doji on the break of the upside and you would have made a really good profit. So same thing here. You wouldn't trade this doji until it breaks 85.32 for the bulls or 76.88 for the bears. And that's the high and the low of the doji. So it's a micro pullback. You see an engulfing candle and then you take a little bit of a break just to reset your indicators and stuff on the lower time frames. And then you break out into the direction that is strongest. Very indecisive though. That's why it's a doji. It's very you have a lot of indecision. You don't know which way it's going to break until it starts to break. So we'll keep track of that. Remind me during like Saturday and Sunday to pay attention to that candle. And we'll go over that on stream. Did you guys see my retweet on TrendSpider's new strategy tester coming out this weekend? Looks really good. I'm going to do a video on it probably the day or the day after they release it. And I'll go into some more of that strategy that I was showing back in our previous video. It rejected this range a few times though. What are you talking about Litecoin? Yeah, so you wouldn't know for Litecoin until it breaks, obviously, but that's trading, man. It's all probabilities. Like, you could take the trade here, and It looks better here than it looked every other test because look at the Momo. The Momo is bullish. You're also putting in a higher low on the Momo, so your previous move had more bullish momentum than all the other previous moves. So this is just accumulation. You see an impulse move down into a range. Accumulation. Accumulation is typically bullish when you have good buy volume on the low side. Without looking at the volume, I could tell you that this is bullish because the momentum is gaining. Yeah, it's tightening up, but it's pretty much just an ascending triangle. You have the range high, and then it's tightening up on the lows. So it's just an ascending triangle, which is also bullish. So when you're trading like accumulation or distribution, you always want to look at the volume, look at the momentum. Yeah, whichever way it's leaning is going to tell you which way it's going to break. So like during accumulation, like we saw on Litecoin, the Momo is making a higher low, indicating that it wants to push to the upside. The Momo is spreading, man. It's in a bunch of different Discords already. It's in... Somebody told me that they saw it on... what's that, Reddit? That fucking stock Reddit that everyone looks at?
Wall Street bets.
Yeah, Wall Street bets. Somebody told me they saw it on there. I might talk to TrendSpider, see if we can get it added on their platform. It's a little worrisome doing stuff like that though, because I do have to give the code out. If I did it, it would be fully legal. I'd probably have them sign a bunch of NDAs and stuff. But it would be really cool to see it on their platform. A little slow day today, guys. If you guys have any questions, as always, just put them in chat. If you want to take a look at any stocks or any crypto, just put the ticker in chat, and I'll take a look at it. Just being patient here, waiting on a good trade on Ethereum or Bitcoin, both of which are not really giving us great trades. Ethereum looks like it wants to break out to the upside here on the 5-minute, but the higher time frames are still pretty sketchy. The daily's a little scary on Ethereum because you do have like an engulfing candle coming in here, and you also have the Momo giving you a pretty big red bar here. So you are heading into a new structure, a new peak on the Momo. So a little scary there. But it's just so conflicting. There's no clear trades here. You do have a blue doji, blue raindrop coming in. The past, what was that, like a little bit over 4 days ago. We definitely have some consolidation. That breakdown of that trend was beautiful on the on the raindrops. Oh, my throat's been killing me today. Jesus. Went outside for like 10 minutes. My throat's itchy as hell. The problem with being a trader, seems like allergies hit you harder. Your body is so fucking used to being inside. If I take the anchored VWAP from this last green candle before the breakdown, let's see where it ends up. Ends up right there at 86, so basically the same place you'd be looking at a weekly pullback is a break of that 85, 86 to re-enter that uptrend. Lines up perfectly with VWAP as well. Oh, so they already added a take profit and a stop loss to their strategy tester. That's awesome. Oh, so I can already see their new strategy. I forgot I have a beta account. But I'll probably still wait until it's fully released to do a video on it. I didn't even think about that. Let's take a look at this strategy here. Average return is 0.25% per trade. Your average loss is 0.92. Your average gain is 1.78. 30 wins. It actually has a pretty low win rate, but it's still very successful. Net profit 17%. I'm going to tell them they probably need to add the profit factor. They don't have the profit factor here. They have the average return, but they don't have the profit factor. Profit factor is very easy. You just take the average win divided by the average loss. Or you can take the overall gain divided by the overall loss. Yeah, this is a lot cleaner. I really like this. Let's see what happens if we add in a stop loss. Let's see, what is our average loss? Our average loss is 9.2. So we could put in a stop loss at like 1% and we would cut out all of these bigger losses. Let's just put it at like 1.25. Let's see what it does. So right now our net profit is 17%. Let's see if it goes lower or higher. Yeah, it went up. So now it's at 17.88. It barely went up, but so it actually lowered our average loss. Let me try when immediately at given level instead of waiting for the close. Let's see what that does. Let me also show this on a chart. I don't think we have any current trades. that made it go up a lot. So now the net profit is 27%. So our win rate is 42%. Our average return went up by 0.1, so that's good. 72 positions. Yeah, this looks really solid. There's basically zero drawdown. It has no drawdown at all. It's positive the entire way. Very, very clean. Giving away free alpha on stream, as always. So it seems like most of them... Most of the positions are probably less than 20 candles, 23 candles. Most of them fall off. Let's see, our minimum loss is 125 because that's our stop loss. Our average loss is 0.67. Let's see if we lower our stop loss down to 1%. Let's see what that does. So right now the win rate's at 42%. Our net profit's at 27. So net profit went up. We're at 29 now. Win rate goes down a little bit. Still zero drawdown. So minimum loss is 1%. Our average return is 0.37, so it went up by 0.02. That's not bad. It's a pretty good win rate too. 40% with this kind of strategy. It's actually a really good win rate. Net profit of nearly 30% when buy and hold is down 20%. That gives you close to a 50% difference if you were to buy and hold. That's exceptional. This is only longing too. So this is a long strategy in a downtrending market. And it's up 30%. That is in the past 2 months. So you're trading about 1 trade a day. 72 positions in 2 months. But alright, I'm going to stop giving you free alpha. I'll test that more off stream. Yeah, I know, Bitcoin's not really doing anything here. Stream's pretty boring. Ethereum's failing the 50 EMA here on the 5-minute, so you are starting to push downward. Failing the 80 EMA on the 30. Bitcoin's got some decent sell walls here on BitMEX. Kuma, I'm just sitting out right now. No clear trades that I'm finding, so I'm just kind of sitting back and waiting for some better trades. I missed the clear trade yesterday. I wasn't at my PC very much yesterday, but the clear trade was to short that trend shift. Could have made a really nice profit, really nice 3 to 4% there. Same thing on Ethereum, really nice trend shift. This is what I look for on my strategy, basically. This exact pattern here. So that was a perfect trade, but sadly I was not at my PC very much yesterday. Taking this month a little slower than last month. Last month we were really aggressive. This month we're already doing well. So I'm already up almost 10%, so don't need to be forcing trades. We're going to take it a little slower. Going to make sure I don't give back all my gains from the last month or the month before. Do you use any leverage? Yeah, so typically on my main account, I use anywhere from 1 to 3x leverage. My high-risk account uses a little higher, typically around 5 to 7. My high-risk account is not trading right now. I'm thinking about just merging those funds into my main account. I've already merged my Coinbase, or most of my Coinbase funds, not all of them, into my main account. So I probably will be merging my high-risk pretty soon. My high-risk account was just there to test out a strategy, and the strategy was clearly working, so I'm running that strategy on my main.
We trade Digimon.
You trade Pokemon cards? No, I do not. I don't even have Pokemon. Actually, no, I've got books of some really old, what are they called? Hollows. Holographic ones, or that's what they call them, right? The ones that are like shiny. They're probably worth good money. I think I've got a really old Charizard and all the like not first editions, but whatever that first like 100 Pokemon are called. Oh, they're definitely worth some money, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna keep them probably for a while though. Yeah, we've got books. We've got like 4 or 5 of those like collector books, full of the old cards. I used to have a shit ton of old Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but I don't know what happened to them. Probably got sold in a fucking yard sale or something. $20, yeah, right. You owe me $20 for doing your Sudoku homework. What was it, level 3 or level 4 I sent you? Fongo helped you? What is this? Let's take a look.
Finger in butts while you dance.
Listen, I will get banned if I do that, but thank you for the 10 bits. All right, it's time. It's time, everyone. All right, here we go.
Who is this?
2 minutes.
Oh my god.
2 minutes.
Finger in butts while you dance.
Listen, I will get banned if I do that, but thank.
He's good at Sudoku. Yeah, we used to have to do Sudoku all the fucking time in like elementary and middle school. They're pretty easy. They're just time consuming.
Sudoku was my math teacher's excuse for not having anything else to teach us.
Yeah. You just have to start with the lowest amount of numbers that you need, and then just go from there. But like if you need like 2 1s or like, so like say you need 2 1s, you need 5 3s, 10 4s, whatever. You just start with whatever the lowest is, and you just go from there, and it makes it extremely easy. That's Congo. He's good at Sudoku. Who's Congo? That's the same link. I heard you guys almost got Stock Guy banned on his first day. His first day being a partner, you guys almost got him banned. Were you in his stream during that, Sticky?
I don't think so.
Oh, he did it himself? Didn't he like show some? Didn't he show like a dick on screen or something?
I remember when you went to Belle Delphine's Twitter. I remember that.
I won Twitter follow and I told him to follow Johnny Sins. He followed Johnny Sins. Yeah, but why would that make him get banned? I thought he showed. He like deleted his VOD. Didn't he show something on stream or something? Yeah, Turnip, I could definitely see it going down to this pivot. It's just a really hard trade here. It's a hard trade. Oh, I thought it was way worse than that, because he like deleted his VOD and everything.
Be right back.
The thing about Twitch is, you can do whatever the fuck you want, as long as people don't report you, you know what I mean? So he's not gonna get banned as long as people don't report him, and as long as they don't clip it and like send it off. As long as you delete your VOD in time, and like people know that it was a mistake, it wasn't like you weren't doing it on purpose, you're not gonna get, well, I say that, but Twitch bans everybody, dude, unless you're a girl. Twitch is very sexist when it comes to bans. That's become ridiculously obvious over the past like year. So Hockey, did he like, did it show that, like on Johnny Sin's Twitter, did it show something on stream or something? He showed a penis on stream, Jesus. Oh god. Does he not know who Johnny Sins is? Why is he scrolling down on his Twitter account? That's hilarious. No, it doesn't. It's very rare that it has sensitive content. It's very rare. It's typically only when it's like political stuff or like dead bodies or something like that. Not typically for like porn or so. Like I've seen so much porn come up on my timeline from people fucking retweeting shit. That's why I never go on Twitter on stream. If I go on Twitter, I do it like this. I'll pull it over my other monitor. I'll go to my Twitter account. I'll go to my profile and then I'll pull it up like this. Because I know what's on my timeline. Yeah, you can't show anything like that. If it's real, like if it's in a video game, it's okay to a certain extent. But if it's real, you can't. Worst case scenario, it's only a 3-day ban, I think. I think it's a 3-day ban. For like sexual like slips like that. Bitcoin, why are you so boring? Why is this like all of my streams? All of my streams are just Bitcoin going sideways. What do you guys want me to do? There's nothing for me to make this exciting. Ethereum's trying to break out here. Yeah, a bit of risk in their lives. Yeah, I mean, the only people sleeping right now are like China, like India, maybe like India to the anything east of India. Everything like west of India is it's not that late right now. It's only like 10, 11. This looks like a pretty good shift on Ethereum. On the short-term 5-minute. You go to bed. That's true, yeah. Most people probably go to bed around like 9 or 10. That's right. I don't go to bed till like 2, 3 a.m., so. I can't judge it based on my sleep schedule. You got some buyers coming in on Bitcoin, not too bad. Man, I'm starving. I'm about to get some food after stream. How come you only trade in the afternoon? I trade basically all day long. It's just I only stream in the afternoon. I typically trade. I do all my stuff around the house. If I have to run errands or anything, I get all that stuff done in the morning, and then I typically sit down at my computer to like start trading or start doing business stuff around like 12 to 1. And then if it's one of my gym days, I'll wake up, do whatever I need to do, go to the gym, get lunch, and then start trading. So typically I start trading around like 3 to 4 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday, Thursday, I'll typically sit down around like 11 to 1, depending on what day it is, or depending on like how I feel. The problem is typically when I sit down at the computer, I don't ever get up. Like I get up to eat, I get up to use the bathroom, stuff like that. But once I start trading, I'm basically sitting here all day. So I can't stream all day though. That's way too exhausting. I used to do that. If you guys are some longtime viewers, I used to stream for like 8 to 10 hours a day. It was way too exhausting though. Trading while streaming is extremely exhausting. I don't know how Stock Guy does it for 6 hours a day. I used to do that shit and it killed me. I can't do it anymore. He just plays marbles? Yeah, right. Is Ethereum forming a head and shoulders on the 2 hour? This is too long for a head and shoulders. I would like the entire head and shoulders to be like this big. So like I would like it to be like shoulder, and then maybe a head, and then shoulder, and then break. This is too long. Oh, you're looking at ETH BTC? Let's take a look. Yeah, so ETH BTC looks better. So this is cleaner. You would take like the neckline here. So yeah, this would look like a short, and then you'd see the breakdown. Yeah, same thing here. Yeah, I like that. That's not too bad. You have a perfect failure of that pivot. Beautiful pivot. Failure. Retest of this pivot. Failure. You had a perfect test of that pivot, almost to the tick. And now we're breaking down. Yeah, I like that. I'd say this is definitely more bearish than bullish. The 4 hour is finding some support here. You do have a bear div. I called this out last week. You have a bear div here. You're playing out the bear div. The 4 hour is finding support there on the 50 EMA though. Bitcoin climbing here. Not doing too bad. Yeah, this looks like a pretty good move here. Decent volume coming in. Nice little liquidity grab with those few candles. You want to look at USD CAD? Doesn't look too bad. You regained a pivot here as a support. Nice little bounce there. You're showing weakness though. You have a range high here. You're showing weakness. You can see a decrease in momentum. You got a lot of sell pressure. Weekly looks pretty good though. Weekly has a new green bar. You're above the 50 EMA, above the 8, above your trail. Same thing on the 50 though. You got a lot of sell pressure. A lot of sell pressure. So weekly slightly bullish. The daily, you do have some sell pressure though. Awesome momentum. Four hour looks pretty good. Nice little move up. Got a lot of distribution. You're still above your 8. You're still above that pivot, so you do have a little bit of support. But once you lose this pivot, you should be looking pretty bearish. This one, you just had a massive down move here. You saw a very good shift in momentum to the downside. You broke the 50, you broke your trail, you broke the 8. You do have a nice little doji reversal coming in though. Slightly morning star. Yeah, weekly had a sell signal there. So weekly told you to sell 1355. Weekly looks pretty bearish. Weekly looks like a dead cat. You see that dead cat bounce into a continuation downward. Daily looks like a bull flag, but you are retracing pretty heavily. I'd say if you can't regain this level here, you'd be pretty bearish. Go for that lower high setup. Yeah, 3-day gave you a sell signal, 3-day momentum shifting. You did have a beautiful pivot here, call the bottom. You had that level come in, tested it there, popped up. But you're not able to get above your 50 here, so you do have downward trend. The 1 hour is finding support on that pivot. You could definitely see a pop to like the 50, but overall in a downtrend. Market maker, what do you mean? Beautiful pivot failure here. So Bitcoin's looking like you get some sell pressure here on the high, 81.66. Gold, we talked about gold a little bit last week, I believe. Gold failed exactly where we were expecting it to fail. You had that sell pressure come in around that 1500 range, maybe like 1530, 1550. You were not able to break that level. What's that gold future? It's like GX or something. GC, that's what it is, GC. Yeah, massive decrease in momentum here. You have a sell signal on the daily. Look like you're definitely entering a downtrend. You can see this downtrend forming. Really nice buy pressure on the weekly though. Really beautiful buy pressure there. You're still in an uptrend on the weekly. You're still white. You can see the candles are still white. If you have that shift from white to black with that bearish momentum, you will see that major dip like we saw here. So you do have that shift in momentum coming, but you don't have that white to black yet. So your trend is still bullish. It's hard to say with gold because gold is very inverse of the market. So you'd want to look at how the market's performing to get a gauge on how gold is going to perform. Yeah, no problem, man. All right, so we're failing that pivot on the short term. No real confirmation on the 15. You're still above the trail. 30-minute, still below the trail, bearish trend. Momo's climbing on the 30, though. You are trying to flip bullish here. Also climbing on the 1 hour. This is so conflicting. This price action is just so terrible. No trade is the best trade here, I think. Even the daily's conflicting. Like, you have an engulfing candle here. You're failing the 8. So you have some sell pressure. You have a nice engulfing, but you're bouncing off the pivot. So, like, you're still finding support even though you're an engulfing candle. And the Momo is also climbing. So even on the daily, you're still conflicting. So best to just wait here. We'll probably have a cleaner trade by the weekend, maybe Monday. Man, I'm about to eat some of these cookies. I need some real food after stream, but I'm a thin and crispy, man. Things are good.
I just ate like 2 packs of nerds.
That's terrible.
Halloween size, not a real pack.
Oh, yeah. These fucking cookies are so good. These farmhouse.
Are they vegan though?
I don't know. Hey Jelly, if you go to our website and hang out on any of the pages for longer than 30 seconds, it will give you a pop-up with the link to the trial. Or give me 1 second, I'll pull it up. If you go to my tweet there, I have the PayPal link and the crypto link if you want to get right to the link. Yeah, no
I
problem.
might play this ETH 15-minute bulldog.
Yeah, I'm so sketched out, and I'm about to go to dinner too, so I don't really want to take trades right now. But yeah, 15-minute looks pretty good. The 5-minute shifted trends. But alright guys, I'm starving. I'm gonna go get some dinner. Appreciate you guys being here. Jelly, if you go ahead and buy that now, or whenever you do buy it, either me or Sticky will send you an invite to the Discord. So make sure your Discord has it so we can add you as a friend, or we can send you a message. Either way, we can send you the link. But it needs to be one or the other. We need to be able to add you as a friend, or just send you a message. And then once you sign up, like I said, Sticky or I will send you the invite, and then you're good to go. But alright guys, appreciate you guys being here. We'll be doing a normal stream tomorrow, sometime in between 3 and 4 p.m. So you guys know how that goes, probably closer around 3:30ish. But I'll be here, so if you guys want to come hang out, check me out around that time. But you guys have a good night. Stay safe as always. Don't be forcing trades. As I said, right now, no trade's probably the best trade. I'm going to wait for some more confirmation before I take any big trades. But alright guys, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out.